Bonjour à toutes et à tous, bienvenue sur le cours Philippe Chatrier pour suivre la finale des Internationaux de France 2007. Le premier joueur à monter sur le cours est numéro 2 mondial, double tenant du titre, l'Espagnol Rafael Nadal. Et sont opposés à celui qui a remporté 10 titres du Grand Chelem, le numéro 1 mondial, le Suisse Federer.
So Federer on court and Nadal taking his time.
Apart from the trophy, the prestige to win here is 1,580,000 Aussie dollars. The runner-up gets 790,000 Australian dollars along with the ATP points, and we're ready to go.
There's a sign of nerves. Both boys framing forehands in the opening couple of points. Nadal has virtually not mishit a ball in the last two. Huge occasion. Well, you'd have to say in Federer's semi-final against Davydenko, his forehand was almost a liability. He had so much trouble with the footwork and balance on the forehand side, a string of forehand errors. I'd say that was nerves more than anything else.
He didn't really have to go for it, but he opened the shoulders very early, made the error. Start from both players there with a couple of forehands, but Federer picked up the pace on the first serve there, and he needs to get a lot of those in. Just continue. Just to give you an idea of how tough this tournament is to win. It's only the 5th time in the Open era that the number 1 and 2 seeds have met in the final. There you have a look at Nadal, the way he places everything. Picks it up, puts it right down the spot. All the other majors, Wimbledon's had 9 times, 7 times at the Australian Open, 10 times at the US Open, but only 5 times here in the last 29 years as the top 2 seeds got through to the final round.
Au service, Rafael Nadal.
Boy, it's a hot day today. Look at all those shirts and hats and caps and lots of sunscreen and hats needed today out here. Hottest day we've had. Final day of the championships.
Well, that's the shot, that forehand down the line and the off forehand that works so well against Djokovic. We all know Federer's got the big left-handed hook forehand cross court, but that shot there, what a way to open up the court. And he employed this very well against Djokovic.
Dance.
Well, that was the matchup last year that just didn't serve Federer particularly well. Nadal's forehand high, up above his shoulder into the backhand side. That was pretty much the order of the day. After the first set, you can see where Federer is forced to make contact. Not easy to generate a lot of pace from there.
40-15. Well, the whipping forehand deep into the corner again pays dividends. It's one game all, and this is a packed house here at Court Philippe Chatrier for this men's final. Capacity is over 15,000, 15,109 to be precise, as we watch the trademark forehand of this young man.
Ganz 0.
There's no question in his last couple of matches, Federer has been striving for power on that first serve. Normally he's around 190, 195. More often than not now, he's up over 200. And as a result, his first serve percentage is suffering. I've never seen these two boys quite so tight. Nerves are a horrible thing. Feet won't move. And when your feet don't move, you just can't get to the pitch of the ball. You're reaching for it, it's not in your strike zone. And the errors start to flow, as we've seen here in the early games, but to be expected.
That's too good. Good wheels from Federer, good defensive play from Federer.
Well, this is the shot I like from Nadal. We know he can go into the backhand. Federer's almost expecting that. Just showing him something different and really opening up the court.
Still a game point. The tactics seem to be to go deep to that backhand if he can. A couple of points in that game takes him to 2-1. With a great weight of expectation all around for everybody in this match, but Nadal regards this court central here just the same as Federer regards Wimbledon, or Becker used to. He regards this as his home, this is his living room, this is where he's had his success, this is where he made his name. And the man on the other end has done it at Wimbledon and many other places except here. That was in, folks.
Well, that's a good statement to make early in the match. Nadal, he just spins that second serve in. It's awkward because he's a lefty, but Federer very quick to move around. You could still see the height of the bounce. Always difficult to generate pace from up there. Well, two stinging returns. It's the shortest ball you'll get in any rally. There's Mansour Barami. Wasn't a bad serve, placed accurately, but Federer taking a couple of chances, paying off.
think of this? This is the first break point opportunity so far in the final in this opening set.
15-40.
2 break points now to Federer.
Never panics though, Nadal. He just goes through his pre-serve routine. Just disregards what's happened on the previous point. Basically, we'll ask Federer once again to play a tough point here, break point, to try to get through his defences. So that's a shot. If you go back to last year's final, Nadal just pretty much wore Federer down by going to the backhand continuously all day long. But this is a shot that I feel he has improved on over the last year. The off forehand, he still hits around the ball. It's not necessarily inside out. Federer almost expecting a backhand there, so 2 break points saved.
Juice. Very patient, very persistent. He hit that forehand throughout that rally with a lot of air. He had plenty of margin. And he sets up this one. He flattens out a little bit. And then that one again. Plenty of margin down the line with that. A good metre above the net with heavy, heavy topspin.
That ball landed on the service line and hit the back fence going up. It's about a 45-foot kick off the clay. Enormous spin.
Il est premier service.
Good effort there again from Nadal on this occasion. 2 break points, and it's 2 games all.
almost a sneak there from Federer. He's tried to serve on a couple of occasions on the first serve. He hasn't made it. Nadal looking to run around. Federer had flattened that serve out. More slice. And coming in behind it, something that we think he should do when he's up on the count, when he's ahead on the scoreboard.
Hit backhand from Federer. And that one you'd have bet even money that he hit this one for a winner. He's missed a couple of rather easy forehands. Still maybe a little bit tight. This one normally is bread and butter. Part of the court gets over the top of it just a little too quickly into the net. So the crowd favourite here is Roger Federer, as far as the applause are concerned, and he stays in front in this opening set, 3-2. Very warm day here with a little overcast with clouds, but not much of a breeze today. A lot of the fans are fanning themselves. Everybody's got fans on the way through with chapeaus, hats to keep the sun away.
Merci, s'il vous plaît.
Sandra de Jenkin just asking the crowd to be quiet as play is ready to get underway. It's 2-3.
Well, Federer, he's a great mover on the court, and it's mainly due to his anticipation. You could see there he knew he couldn't cover the open court, so he just propped, anticipated the ball back to the backhand. Not sure he hit that quite as cleanly as he would have liked. It almost seemed to come off the bottom of the frame, but the result, perfect.
Il est premier service.
There's that flatter trajectory just going along that time, but it's almost as though he's very aware of keeping a good depth.
Well, Federer is the one that's creating the chances, and strangely enough, it's Nadal making the unforced errors.
But once again, great depth from Federer. That time he went back in the court, looked for a forehand, but it's the depth of his shots that's drawing a lot of these errors. You've got to like Nadal's equilibrium. It's almost as though he can just disregard what's just taken place, and it's just another point, something to look forward to. Doesn't focus on the score, doesn't panic.
And Federer was looking for that one down the tee, and he just had to lean to the backhand side and couldn't prop and get back. That's 4 break points now, have gone wanting. Not because of poor play from Federer. It's been Nadal has upped the ante himself. 2 big first serves.
Well, this is the arm wrestle that Nadal loves, just tossing the ball up high to the Federer backhand. You could see there he had to reach for that ball just outside his hitting zone, unable to control it. Well, you have to go to a player's strength to get to their weakness. There it is, steps up into the court, takes it on the rise.
Merci. Merci.
Clay court tennis at its best, this. And they're throwing everything with the kitchen sink at one another. And then the volley inside the service line is too short. Nadal can't reach it.
Played to perfection by Federer. Nadal guilty there. It's almost as though he's a little muscle bound on some of these ground shots. He's just not getting the whip that he normally gets into the ball, dropping short.
Break point once more. Got what he wanted too. Just thinking the forehand from Nadal, as Wall was just talking about, was too short. It bounced inside the service box, and it gave Federer the shot that he wanted. couldn't pull the trigger. Juice.
Well, Federer, in this game in particular, you can see he's just camped nicely on the baseline. He's just looking for that opportunity. Not that there was that much room there to throw the needle down the line, but Nadal in this game has not been able to push him back off the baseline.
Break point for the 4th time in this game.
Égalité.
First set means such a lot for both these players. And it's been Federer that's had the best of it so far. That was an easy second serve, not a difficult one for him again. Missed it. So that's 6 opportunities he's let go at the moment. 6 break point chances, hasn't converted.
Avantage Nadal.
Well, this is what we talk about, Federer having to have this sort of extended passages of play where he's right on top of his game, because Nadal just doesn't give anything away. You've got to earn everything.
Game point now. What a magnificent rally again, boy.
The tennis purists must love Federer. I mean, his shot's just so classical. Nadal unable to control that final lunging backhand, as he does so often, the open stance. Well, he's handling the weight of shot so well today, Federer. Just holding his ground on the baseline. He's not allowing himself to be pushed back. Just a little extra flick of the wrist there on impact. Cold winner.
Leon Tiriac there, man on the left of your screen. Romanian Davis Cup player, now tournament promoter. One of the top tournament promoters in the business. Break point again for Federer. in the court until it bounced. He hit it nearly around the net post. A big whip forehand. No quarter given here from either player. Look where this one comes from. Deuce.
It just shows you, he doesn't just hit over the ball, he hits around the ball. It's coming at Federer like an egg. Massive amounts of spin. Pretty brave shot too, that forehand down the line. Such a big game. Both players trying to make a statement. Nadal, the great players, they seem to have the wherewithal to find their best tennis on the big points.
Well, the Nadal fans are very happy there. The Spanish flags are waving everywhere as the defending champion gets to 3-all first set, saving 5 break points.
Fred, it's an interesting atmosphere, isn't it? It's like a football match in that the lines are very drawn. There's no ambivalence. It's almost as though everybody is 100% sure who they want to win.
Yep. As we talked about earlier in the week, this Grand Slam is sort of getting it to a little bit like the Australian Slam, where everybody comes with their national flags and national colours. See them in and around the grounds. A lot more prevalent here this year at the French than it has been. Now the tough time comes for Federer. Nadal has answered the bell in his last 2 service games where he's been able to get himself out of trouble. Now it's Federer at love 30.
Merci.
Seventh game of any set for some reason. Can turn the tables, and this one may be it. An easy forehand miss there. So it's now Federer down 3 break points. Can he get out of it? Well, it's amazing. 4 points that took, and now it's Nadal 4-3 with a break.
Nadal mène par 4 jeux à 3.
Lightning strikes very quickly.
Installez-vous rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
New balls, and you can just see those, just the first couple of points, or the first couple of shots in that rally. they fizz through the air a little quicker while.
You like that word, fizz? Absolutely. I just think, Fred, just watching those last couple of games, you'd think Federer has almost gone exclusively with the topspin backhand. Whether he needed an audacious little drop shot or a clever slice, just a moment of brilliance to break up the ground stroke consistency of Nadal. I haven't seen it yet. Half chance again, love 30, and will we see some more variety from Federer? We've seen him hit firmly, take the ball on the rise, move forward. Will we see a bit more variety? Try to break up these patterns of play that seem to emerge on the big points. Namely Nadal's heavy forehand into Federer's backhand.
Slice, but it came from Nadal. Federer just set the gun and pulled the trigger.
Well, the Nadal slice has so many revolutions. You can see it just sat there. Federer had plenty of time to get set and just clocked the backhand.
Really gave that a whack, that's backhand. So now he's rewarded 3 break point opportunities. He's had 7 all told, 5 in Nadal's last service game and 2 in the prior service game. Got to start thinking about this.
15-40. Il est premier service. Il est premier service.
And there it is again, all topspin backhands, not employing any slice, maybe just a short angle, just something to change up this rhythm on the big points. Maybe even just take a chance, chip charge, do something out of the ordinary. You probably get past. Sticking to his guns, Federer, for whatever reason. Well, that ball's right on the line. Federer has acknowledged that it was good. Bit of a blow for Nadal, though. He won that point, essentially.
Yeah, he did win it. He's going to have to replay it, though. Sandra to Jenkins. Unfortunately, that was the rule. Well, it's the forehand as well, and he's had the opportunities.
Avantage, Nadal.
He's had on 3 or 4 occasions forehands that he normally enjoys hitting. Point now for 5-3.
You'd have to say, though, on the big points, he's been predictable. Federer, and that's not something you can normally say about his game.
Well, Federer's got to be thinking, hey, what do you have to do? He has had 10. Say that again, 10 break points in this set, and he's down 5-3.
But every break point has almost been like a carbon copy
of the other,
of the previous point.
Although you must say, Nadal, not so much in that game, but the previous game, just served really well when under pressure. Federer serving to stay in this first set now.
Fred, is there a touch of ego about Federer? Does he think he can win this arm wrestle in the early stages?
Well, I guess he won the first set last year, did he not? Did he win the first set?
He did.
Yes, he won the first set last year, so I think he's trying to... But we haven't seen too many... Well, we haven't seen a serve and volley. We haven't seen too many chip and charge, as you mentioned. No slice backhands. And if he doesn't win this set, he's thrown everything in this set at Nadal. And he's had a lot of opportunities. You don't get 10 break points in a set against Nadal. You just don't get them.
But we're just seeing this pattern emerge too often now. Nadal's forehand into the Federer backhand. Federer going back cross court with a topspin. And Nadal is dictating. There was a serve volley point, swinging out wide.
The slice, he had to chase it. The ball just sat there.
Well, Nadal, we talked about it before, he cuts the life out of his slice. There's not much forward momentum on the ball. He really cuts underneath it. It almost balloons up when it hits the court.
Set point, Nadal. Well, the Spaniards are elated, and they should be. Their man has fought everything that's been thrown at him, survived 10 break points, come back, and then broke serve again. So that's Federer losing his last 2 service games. He's lost it pretty easy, 6-3.
Deuxième manche, au service, Nadal.
In many ways, Roger Federer dominated points of the first set, but it was Rafael Nadal with amazing consistency. He's got the set advantage after claiming it 6-3 and serves to start the second set of the men's final.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Fred, but has Roger hit one slice in general play?
No, not. He has not hit a slice to keep the ball back in play. He probably feels that if it's up that high that he can't get enough on it, but he's got to change something. He's got to do something different.
Well, the match is 54 minutes old. He's tried to play with heavy topspin at the back of the court. Certainly looked good midway through that first set. But the momentum has certainly shifted in Nadal's favour now.
That's about the time it took for the women's singles final, I think, yesterday. Justine Henin-Ardenne winning very comfortably. Justine Henin, not Henin-Ardenne. There we got one. Really basically forced to play that because the ball was nearly behind him. He forced to play the slice. 40 love. And we've seen it so often. Once Nadal starts to get confident, he starts to go for more shots. He knows that he has the first set in his pocket, and you can probably expect him to come up with a little more variety in this set now as well.
Well, we just watched Nadal here with the off forehand, the shot that I feel he's employing more often over the course of the last year. But the whole thing is, look, Federer could play drop shots, he could serve volley, he could use his slice, he could play with more creativity, and he could still lose that first set 6-3. It's no guarantee that it's going to turn the tide, but I just feel, looking on, that hitting with heavy topspin to the Nadal forehand is not the way to go. It's playing the match on Nadal's terms, and there's a racket from Nadal going off to the stringer.
The stringers are pretty good these days. Uncle Tony will get that down there to whoever strings Nadal's rackets, and it'll be back in about 20 minutes.
It's almost as if Federer wants to prove he can play on the Nadal game on clay. That's the impression I think I'm sure a lot of the experts are getting at the moment.
He starts off with the big forehand, but it reminds me, Walter mentioned earlier in the week, in these situations, you go back to Boris Becker, who, as great as he was, brought up on clay in Germany. Never won a clay court event of any description, not a one. But he got there and he was stubborn because he wanted to beat him. He could beat him on the hard courts and on the grass courts with the serve, but then he thought he could beat the clay courters from the back of the court and couldn't do it.
Foul!
Out. 30-15.
Well, taking a chance, taking the ball early, flattening it out, but it's what he has to do.
Well, there's a change. That's the first serve and volley we've seen, and it caused Nadal to take his eye off the ball a little and won the point. So a bit of different change in strategy there, and it's 1-1 now.
Well, we saw him midway through that first set. He just stepped into a couple of second serve and flattened them out. and hit a couple of great returns. I'd like to see him almost here at the start of the second, just really shake it up if he gets a couple of second serves. Just chip charge, come in on a bluff, do something different. No guarantees, but just show Rafa something new. So just have a look where he's got to play this. It's up above shoulder height. Not easy for a single-hander. Well, he had a bit of success in two previous forehands, flattening them out and going behind Nadal. But you would think there, if you can make Nadal pass you when he's got to hit his backhand on the run, he loves going cross-court. You can almost sit on that.
That one, though, was the heavy topspin, wasn't it? That Nadal really got out and whipped that one. And it was the bounce that beat him. No slice return, trying to be aggressive. Still in that same frame of mind. Federer, 40-15. Well, the serve set it up, got Federer out of court, leaning the wrong way. 2-1 now. Nadal 1-0. Federer to serve. See the time clock there, 1 hour and 3 minutes of play so far. I almost thought there with that heavy kicking first serve, 148 Ks, pushing Nadal deep into that forehand corner. I almost thought the drop shot was going to be I thought he was setting him up for the drop shot, but no. Continues to try to come over the backhand.
Good one too. Big serve down the middle, short reply on the forehand. Still had to get airborne to hit it.
Foul! 30.
All. He actually pushed that forehand.
Well, the thing about Federer too is he's not as fit and as strong as Nadal. He's a great athlete. He's an elastic mover, great anticipation. But when you have one long rally after the next, I know who I'd favour, just in terms of superior conditioning.
Well, this is not what Federer is looking for here. It's a break point opportunity for Nadal early in the second set.
Well, if you're going to serve at a low percentage, if you're striving for power, and we know his percentage has dropped over 200, you want to get as many free points as possible. Hasn't been a lot of aces from Federer.
It's only the second game point. Federer holds a very important hold, that one. 2 games all now, second set.
S'il vous plaît. Merci.
Fred, we had this discussion on air the other day. I felt that Federer wasn't doing enough in his earlier matches to prepare himself for this occasion. He wasn't taking chances. He wasn't coming over the ball on return of serve, moving forward, looking for the volley. He was just doing what he had to do to win those matches. And here today, will he be able to? If he just wants to change tactics, will he find the execution straight away?
First of all, he's got to find the will to want to do it and attack the net there on one of the few occasions, but he has to find some variety. Whether it'll work is something else. He's got to be smart enough to realise that the first set he threw everything at Nadal, didn't get what he wanted. He has to change something, whether it's the drop shots, whether it's serve and volley, whether it's a slice backhand. Something extra has to come into the game. Crowd are getting their money's worth.
That's the winning forehand there. Federer, a great mover, good balance on the full slide. I tell you, there was one backhand in that rally from Nadal. It was just exceptional. Federer able to play this forehand squash slice to stay in the point, but certainly the rally of the match so far. And that's what I mean. Now, you want to come in, but you haven't been doing it
30 ans.
at all in his previous matches. Can you just turn it on? Can you just find the right approach?
Well, the 15-30 point there, the forehand, is nearly as good as having a break point because he set it up. It was in the hitting zone, short. Ball jumped at him a little bit, but it could have been 15-40. Now he's missed that. Now backhand, so Nadal is just surviving all the barrages. 40-30.
Nadal.
Another one. 3 games to 2. Nadal leads 1 set to love.
Nadal mène par 3 jeux à 2.
A terrific afternoon for the final, and an exciting one it has been. Roger Federer wanting to win the French Open for the first time to try and continue his quest to do something that hasn't been done since Rod Laver did it 38 years ago. He has to win the Grand Slam. If he wins this, he's on his way at Wimbledon and then at the US Open. The man in his way wants this 3 years in a row.
We like that, the sliding serve out wide. Nadal stands a long way back to return serve and moves directly across the court. Doesn't move forward, doesn't cut off the angle.
Foul!
Great shot here, but that's what he has to send a message to Nadal. If you drop the ball short, I'm going to try to make something happen. I'm not just going to roll it back heavily and start the rally.
Maybe he's listening. Good job to get that first volley. Pretty good return from Nadal.
But see, Fred, I think part of the problem now is look where Nadal is returning. Nadal's confident. He's got the set under his belt. He's full of running. It's almost as though now Federer will have to be... He'll just have to play exceptional attacking tennis now because Nadal is completely on song.
That's what Djokovic did so well against Nadal the other day. Federer's got to employ the same tactics, but first of all, he's got to get his first serve in. 38% of first serve doesn't do it for you. If he can get that serve in, as he did then, it opens up the court. He's confident enough on the backhand. 3-all. We've been here before. First set, we're at 3-all. This is a game, if your tactics are going to be to attack, you attack somebody for them to start to miss passing shots. And if you get passed a couple of times, you've still got to go in if they're the correct tactics. And then once your opponent starts to miss, then they get to the point where they can't hit one in. But you've got to allow that to happen. You've got to allow yourself to be beaten by a few and still continue with your game plan.
Encouraging signs, Freddie tried to play a drop shot off the ball that was just struck wide there. He's starting to feel it. It's coming. Well, that's what Fred was talking about. Come in. He might pass you, that's fine, but create some pressure. Give him something different to look at. You would think that he would probably come in on the backhand side here. He goes to the strength. Nadal hasn't been forced to make a pass. Didn't have his sight set. May as well try it again.
Yeah, it's certainly at love 30. Percentages are there. What the worst thing can happen is you 15-30. Best thing, you got 3 break points. There we go. There we go. Make him make the pass if he makes it too good, but boy.
Well, I think the frustrating thing is that everybody knows he can do it.
0-40.
It's taken an hour and 19 minutes for him to find some sustained aggression.
Well, mental application also. Break points, he's got another 3 of them. He's had 10.
Nadal, how tough is he on the big points? He just rips a cold winner with no pace to work with behind the baseline.
15-40.
That stroke before, though, Federer retreated 4 shots to play a roll backhand. He could have stepped in 2 and played a chip into the backhand and taken his licks. Fought very well. It's all easy from up here. You know the tactics, you know how to do it, but yeah, easier said than done. And he's done it now, though. 7th game. Maybe it's a turning point in this, the second set, as it was in the first. It's Federer this time, 4-3.
Federer mène par 4 jeux à 3. 15-30.
Again, a serve and volley allowed Nadal to know that he couldn't give the return some air. He had to do something more positive with it. Drew an error.
Well, there's errors here on the forehand, and they are of a technical nature. Balance, not right. Definitely wide.
Break points now to the Spaniard. As the slice backhand, make him hit the passing shot. Didn't have to be great.
Well, the thing is, when you knife a slice like that, Federer, he kept it particularly low. So to hit a pass from the low ball just doesn't give you any options. When you come in off the topspin, you've got more height to work with on the pass.
Fizzed right down into the corner.
I reckon it was a slight miss hit yet again. Sometimes Federer, he walks through this forehand, he pulls off the ball. Let's have a look in slow motion. Body weight falling left, he was definitely reaching for that ball. Not the cleanest of hits, which enabled it to drop suddenly.
That's exactly what you were talking about. He was through that ball before it even bounced. He wanted it into that corner, and he finished his shot. The shoulders had turned. Everything had gone before the ball bounced.
That's right. Everything goes before he makes contact. He pulls out of the shot. All you weekend golfers will know what we're talking about. There's the matchup I just don't like. The single-handed backhand to Nadal's forehand on a consistent basis. Invariably, Nadal wears him down. This occasion, Federer slightly mishits the backhand centre of the court, and you would think that at some point of the rally, he had to change the pattern of play. I think this was good. What a defensive lob, though. Unfortunate that it was called long. The ball was right on the line, shaping up as a great rally. But what a great defensive lob. How determined is Nadal?
Yep. From where he was, way back.
Smack on the line.
Replay the point. That's it. Juice.
Égalité.
There's Mirka Lavranek, who is Roger's lady friend, companion for a number of years now. Points at the net, 12 of 13 for Federer. Does that tell you should be in there a little more?
He wouldn't mind a first serve this game either.
Avantage, Federer.
That's brilliant. Very good. Nice to see. Move forward on that. Didn't want to top it. Give his man a chance. Slice it, a vicious slice.
But that is perfect. It's perfect. It doesn't actually have to be that good.
No.
It could be something a little more three-quarters and safe. But he plays this like a surgeon. I mean, that's so precise. That's the funny thing about him. He's got that much talent. It's frightening.
Almost Tony Roach-like.
It was, wasn't it?
3-5 now. Nadal serving to stay in the second set.
Well, the fact that he hit a beautiful forehand down the line, that's what won him the point. But actually what set it up was the slice. He slices here, which actually draws Nadal forward and to his right. So then he's in a vulnerable part of the court. Took the chance with the forehand. Just see when Nadal, who's dragged well inside the court, that's not where he likes to be. Different spins, different trajectories, very important. Break up people's rhythm. And then, having played a slice in the previous point, he really flattens a backhand out. This is the sort of thing that has to happen against a player of Nadal's consistency. You have to try to break up his rhythm.
Merci. Merci. Oh! 15-30.
You got to like that, though. He had a crack at a backhand the previous point, missed it. No worries. Try it again. Got the break. No point having a 40-shot rally.
2 set points for Federer to get to a set all.
30-40.
He retreated there, Federer. He was trying to give himself some room to really unload on the backhand, but he didn't retreat quickly enough. He was still body weight falling backwards as he made contact with the shot.
Avantage, Nadal.
Now you want to see a slice backhand. Have a look at that one.
Well, isn't it amazing? Uncle Tony applauding, which is a nice gesture given the score. But how well can he play it? That's an absurd shot.
Incredible. Juice.
Took us about an hour and 18 minutes to see the first one, and now he's starting to show us his full repertoire. He's gotten away a bit from that off forehand, Nadal. He's invariably, as this match has gone on, gone up high to the Federer backhand. We saw a few of those early in the match. It's important that he keeps adding that to his game.
Égalité.
He was walking to the sideline. Nadal, he thought he'd made it.
But you just wonder, Fred, the implied threat that Federer might be moving forward makes Nadal try to play a little above himself, abbreviate points.
Merci, s'il vous plaît. Avantage, Federer.
Set point once more. Yes, he made it, and Federer shakes his head. Cleaned the line, that one.
Avantage, Federer.
And Federer does hit that backhand right. It gets Nadal way out of court. Federer another opportunity to get it to a set all. It was worth the shot though. He played it to a purpose. He played it back into the backhand until he opened the court up the point before he made it. That time, just missed.
Avantage Nadal.
Couple of signs in this game that Nadal, he puts so much effort into everything that he does. We've been watching this now for an hour and 40 minutes and just a bit of a fatigue. The shoulders a little heavier than they were.
Yeah, the body language is not what it was earlier.
And you consider the last time they played, Nadal won the first set and then Federer raced away and Nadal was mentally and physically flat. Up in Hamburg 3 weeks ago now. Well, it's nearly a month. Just some signs that the effort taking its toll. Well, he was pretty predictable for a long passage of play, Nadal, because he could be. Federer was just reacting to what he was doing. And there's Tony just displaying the fact that maybe he should flatten that forehand out a little bit, as he did there, particularly the off forehand.
Nadal with a gutsy comeback, saves a couple of set points. Is still in the second set. And it's now Federer serving for the equalizer.
Merci.
And once again, easy to say from sitting up here, but serving for the set, I'm not sure you want that matchup. Just being forced to play high backhands there, Federer. He's really got to try to go out and win this game. And that's the way to do it. Find your first serve. Just really focus all your efforts. Make sure you use your legs to get up and over the ball.
Still pretty miserable on first serve percentages, 53%, but it depends when you get them in. If he can get a couple in here, he won't be worried about percentages. There it is, a serve and volley, giving him something to hit at. 30-15. A much more deliberate walk now from Nadal across the baseline. 30-15. 2 points from a set apiece. Position, take control, and he's got 2 set points on his delivery now.
Well, we mentioned on the run, Nadal loves to hit that double-fisted backhand across court. Federer sitting on it.
S'il vous plaît.
It's 1 set all, folks. That one's wide. And the crowd come to their feet here at Court Philippe Chatrier. An hour and 46 minutes of clay court magic here. The 2 top players in the world. It's 1 set all.
Installez-vous rapidement, s'il vous plaît. Troisième manche. Au service.
Hour and 48 minutes, a set apiece. It's been magical clay court tennis. Top 2 seeds doing battle in this men's final. Nadal serving to start the 3rd set.
Showing us that maybe he's going to continue in that vein.
Interesting, because obviously this has to go to 4 sets. It's just about an hour and 50 minutes into the match. So around about an hour a set, 50 minutes a set. And if it's played at this pace, the next couple of sets, somebody has to start to feel the pinch. Who will it be?
Well, Nadal, all players really, they're much more effective when they don't have to move. Federer had tried the wrong footing shot here. He's got Nadal. You can see there, he just props. He tried to go back behind him, but Nadal, we talked about Federer's anticipation, pretty good on that occasion himself, and that's the shot he loves, the cross-court pass. Much better when he's balanced. Shot. Fred, if you hook these 2 guys up to the machines, put them on a treadmill and measured all their physical capacity, Nadal would be streets ahead, but he plays with such an intensity, it's tiring. He puts everything he's got into every shot. Federer is far more elastic. He plays at a much lower level in terms of physical output.
Well, Federer, when he moves around, sort of glides on top of the clay here, doesn't he? And when Nadal goes, he digs in. He gets himself there. He's very quick to get there. Then he digs in. Federer slides across the court. So obviously he doesn't take anywhere near as much out of him physically. I don't think he does on his service motion or the ground strokes.
Il est premier service. Nadal.
Was attempting the drop shot there on the return of serve. So the opening game there to Nadal.
I think that might have started off as a short slice and changed his mind midway through the shot. Still in all, that's what we want to see. We want to see him trying different things.
And he played a drop shot on match point, didn't he, against Davydenko? Brought Davydenko in, and it was match point to Federer. There we see Nadal just place those bottles right back on their spot.
That's strange behaviour, isn't it? The placing of the bottles in the very ring that they leave on the clay. The psychologists would have a field day with that, interpreting exactly what it all means. Talk about Federer gliding on this surface. Sometimes it hurts him on that forehand wing. He doesn't dig that right leg in. The open stance forehand, he doesn't dig it in. Well, Nadal lucky with the net caught. If it didn't clip the net, though, it would have virtually been a cold winner. Good reactions here from Federer. I don't think he would have really got a racket on that until it catches the net. He gets it back with the tip of his frame. Nadal apologising. It's the shot that he has to play. Can't be too predictable himself, Nadal. We know he can win that arm wrestle cross court the majority of the time, but he's got to keep Federer guessing as well. The longer this match goes on, can't just enable him to park himself in that backhand corner.
Couple of break point chances now for Nadal. Not enough on that approach from Federer. Didn't draw Nadal wide at all. He had plenty of time to play. He changed his mind, though, from going cross-court and down the line, which was a solid shot. With Federer gave him the time to play. Federer a little bit upset there now, down a break in the third.
Isn't he a tough character, though, Nadal? Wouldn't he be happy if your Uncle Tony, his coach, sitting in the stands? The disappointment of losing that second set after looking so good in the early stages, all brushed aside. Clear head. Wonderful match player, Nadal.
That may have been wide, although Nadal's going to go and check the mark.
0-15.
Good sportsmanship again there. Just rubs the mark out. Must have caught the very edge of the line.
Well, Nadal may have drawn some inspiration last night. He was watching Real Madrid score a late equaliser in the Spanish Primera Liga. He's a big Real Madrid fan with his Uncle Tony, so he was preparing for the French Open, relaxing, watching a bit of football.
That's good sense of what's going on out there, because Federer's picked a couple of the cross courts off, and Nadal's realised that, and he's caught him on the last two occasions down the line, dipping backhands.
Interesting there, Federer tried to play the back spinning drop shot there at full stretch. Might have been better served just playing an orthodox volley into the open court and trying to cover the next pass. So what a good little passage of play here for Nadal. Set all, he looked a little bit flat. Regrouped there after that second set. Federer maybe losing concentration, the effort of that second set. Unusual to see Nadal flat-footed there at the back of the court, just unable to read the off forehand there from Federer.
Forehand long on that occasion, so Nadal just hangs in there, claws his way to a 3-love lead in this third set.
Installez-vous rapidement derrière le joueur. Merci.
One of the few occasions, maybe the first occasion, we've seen him serve volley to the forehand. And the element of surprise, Nadal didn't think he was coming in. He just played an orthodox return. Federer with the relatively easy forehand volley. Follows that up with an ace. Exactly what he needed here. A simple game. Needs to get a bit of energy, a bit of mental energy to try to effect a break.
That was a pretty good first serve, just at 199k, and he hit that from 4 metres behind the baseline. It goes just over the net, bounces a metre up the line. Goes a metre up the line from the service line, but that's an easy game for Federer. He's on the board.
Nadal mène par 3 jeux à 1.
If I had to take a guess, though, I would still say there's some uncharacteristic things happening out there. Nadal wrong-footed in the previous game. It was a pretty slow ball. It wasn't too far away from him. He made no move. That's unlike him. There, he opted to hit a slice forehand. He didn't have the heart for another long rally at 40-15. He tried to clock, well, he did clock a winner at 40-love. Just signs, I think, that a bit of the sting has been taken out of him physically. Matches are always full of ebbs and flows. I'm sure adrenaline will kick in. To me, he looks probably half a step slower than he was at the opening stages of this match.
0-15.
If you're a little slow to the backhand, not quite as much on it, more of an open court. A lot of his first serves now going into the net, another sign that you're not getting up to the ball.
They're the important ones at this stage at love 15. Second serve. Down a break. Can't afford to miss too many of those.
I think too, for these players, you consider the magnitude of this final. They've both had a couple of days to dwell on it. And I know that Nadal, David mentioned that he watched the Real Madrid soccer match to relax. But there would have been real tension. They played the first half hour. They were both nervous. That's debilitating. And so I definitely think at this stage of the match, both players, to a degree, just feeling the pinch.
Couldn't hit that one in a better spot. If you'd have gone and placed the ball down there. 30 all now.
Beaten for pace, Nadal. It's always hard when you've just finished your service motion. You're starting to regain your balance and start to look back up into the court. And Federer just jumped on that second serve, gave him no time to prepare. Well, it looked to me in that rally as though Federer had more time than he has had. He seemed to have options, and it was almost just A little bit of a brain cramp at the end there, just a shot selection error.
Didn't want to come in though, did he? At one stage had a couple of opportunities on the forehand. Went back into the rally. Game point for a 4-1 lead. Brilliant on the run. You know he likes to hit it cross court, but he has to make it. And that was a pretty good approach from Federer. And he hooked that one back from at least 6 meters behind the baseline for an outright winner. 4-1.
Well, that first serve landed on the line. Nadal unable to get a real piece of it. Short reply dealt with easily. Well, this is a tremendous half volley pick up there from Federer. Moving forward at full steam, great control of the racket head.
Premier service.
That's a dead ball. That ball's broken. Federer's going to take it up to the chair umpire. I think it exploded off the forehand that Nadal hit during that rally. And Federer, as soon as he hit it back into play, said the ball was broken.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous allons rejouer le point car la balle était défectueuse.
They replay the point there. You could hear it pop when Nadal hit it. Federer returned it and then immediately stopped and said the ball was flat.
Jeu, Federer. Malheureux, ramasseur, s'il vous plaît. Nadal mène par 4 jeux à 2.
Federer just going there to change rackets yet again. And the signs there, definitely there. Nadal, quite often at 40 love, 40-15, he couldn't be bothered running anymore. He just cracked the forehand well long. If it was in, fine. If it didn't go in, no worries. But I think it's a dangerous situation if you're telling yourself you've just got to hang on to 2 service games and not put pressure on Federer when he's serving. Nadal's game is all about building pressure, not letting easy games slide by. Movement on a tennis court, it's not always about running to the ball. It's about all the little steps that you take around the ball. Now Nadal is normally so good at that, he gets himself in the best possible position every time, but there was a case in point, just slow with the feet, to the ball coming directly at him. And when you swing as viciously as Nadal, you better be in the right position, otherwise it's going to take off.
Seventh game of the third set. Seventh game of the first two proved to be ones that won sets, actually. The first set was a break a serve for 4-3. Second set a break a serve for 4-3. Here it's 4-2. Nadal trying to extend that lead to 5-2.
Look at the time Federer's got though. The weight of shot is definitely not there from Nadal. He's missed forehands in this game, but on each occasion, it wasn't because he was under pressure, just because he went for a little too much or didn't quite show enough urgency. Unforced errors, Federer, more than double.
Another one to the forehand column there. There was 3 or 4 in that game for Federer, so that allows the Spaniard to creep ahead in this third set, 5 games to 2. Players back on court central now. Philippe Chatrier, named after the president of the International Tennis Federation and the French Tennis Federation, who was instrumental in building this and having the court Susan Longwall, having the grounds here extended. Federer to serve.
Nadal here, a little extra effort. Tremendous bonus if he could break here. This is first in the fourth. I still think if Federer can find his best tennis for 10 or 15 minutes, I still think Nadal's movement is not quite what it was, and his weight of shot has dissipated.
First volleying error that Federer has made. So that brings up a set point for the Spaniard for a 2-1 lead. Federer was on his way in. Nadal caught him out of the corner of his eye.
The errors are of a different nature now from Federer. They're not errors because the ball's fizzing at him or he's frustrated. They're just sort of execution errors. He's got a lot more time at this stage of the match than he has previously.
First drop shot we've seen in the match from Federer, that is. Nadal's played a couple. It gets him to game point to force Nadal to serve this third set out. And he does. Survives a set point. Can he break serve? Both players, in my mind, 2 hours and 22 minutes. Both these boys are starting to get a little bit arm weary.
Here's the Nadal routine. He sweeps the line, gives the centre tee a brush, little adjustment of the socks, taps the shoes, identical. Adjust the headband, adjust the shorts, and away we go. Set your watch to that. That was a nicely constructed point from Federer, because I feel at this stage Nadal, there's the short slice, draws him in, he retreats, then he's got the floating ball with Nadal going backwards. Wrong foots him on the backhand side, but I don't think Federer has to play a brilliant shot every shot that was required in the first set. Now he can, as long as he keeps his depth, he can almost wait for an opening. The body rotation on this forehand, he just rehearses the shot, but nothing wrong with the swing, but he's just pulling out of the shot before he makes contact. Shoulders rotating. He hit that with an open stance, but the right hip is coming through before he even made contact with the ball. That is a costly error at this stage of the match.
Totally wrong-footed Nadal there. Nadal a little fortunate. That one close to the sideline, just wide though. 30-15. That's a weary shot. Again, it's the whipping forehand that stretches Federer wide. He can make the first one, but the second one was a little too much for him.
Just look at the intent on that last forehand there from Nadal. And there's the slide. When you're reaching for the ball like that, it's a sign of fatigue. A couple of little extra steps needed.
Set points. Same shot, same point, same tactic from Nadal on that set point, and it takes him to 2-1 in just 2 hours and 26 minutes.
the master of his domain, Rafael Nadal, looking for a third straight title. He's 2-1 after 2 hours and 28 minutes. Can Roger Federer play a part in creating a classic men's singles final? He's serving to start the fourth set.
For periods of play, we don't see that shot, and then out of the blue, he just keeps Federer honest. More of a down-the-line forehand on that occasion. Federer will have to be careful in the early stages of this set. He's such a tough character, Nadal. He broke early in the last set. Didn't concede a break point. He just hung on and hung on. Federer really will want to be competitive till the mid-stages of the set.
There's a possibility, Wally, that Nadal hit a little energy flat spot in that previous set and maybe has come out of it now.
Well, I'm convinced of it. I think, and it's only natural in matches, you have little ebbs and flows. I think, unfortunately for Federer, he followed suit. Oh, you're kidding.
That is brilliant. That ball was up around his head and he was off the ground when he hit it. And he was 6 metres behind the baseline. Certainly worth another look here. Look at this shot. Off the ground, drags it across court on the line.
Talk about a second effort. Extra effort there. Look at that, just completely getting behind the ball. Now that landed pretty much where the first point of this game landed. Identical mark. And Federer, as this set would go on, would love more free points. Hasn't served a lot of aces today. Nadal returns from so far back, it allows Federer all the time in the world to get to the net, but then Nadal hits that dipping forehand. So you're moving forward at a great rate. Then you've got to hit the volley up to a rampaging Nadal at the baseline. It's a tough equation if he gets it on his forehand.
It may have been a fault, that one. No. It's going to be an ace and Nadal's going to give it to him. Played in a terrific spirit, these two boys.
Avantage Federer.
Number 1 and 2 players in the world going at it for history-making purposes today. And they're playing it all fair and square.
Premier jeu, quatrième manche.
Federer with the first strike in set number 4.
You talk about these two blokes being 1 and 2, and you talk about the good sportsmanship. You consider the days of McEnroe and Connors. I'm not quite sure. McEnroe and Lendl, I'm not quite sure it would have been played in this gentlemanly fashion.
I agree.
There's that careful placement of the water bottle. Look at that, precise.
I wonder what he'd do if the ball kid sort of accidentally knocked it over when he was chasing the ball.
That would throw him for a loop, I think. There's that routine we've talked about, the pre-serve routine. A lot of tennis players border on obsessive compulsive behaviour. whole tournament, I haven't been happy with Federer's wide forehand when he's forced to slide to that ball. He's never seemed comfortable, balanced. Almost as though he doesn't trust the clay.
Well, I've said on numerous occasions he prefers the clay of the German championships or the Swiss, his own country there, but he just feels here it's too slippery. And they don't water the court after the match starts. They've given it a bit of juice last night. They just soak it the night before matches or at the end of play each day.
There's that little chip keeping the ball low. Showing Nadal something different. Well, Federer just looking towards the umpire. I think he felt that was a net cord. Certainly caught the line. No argument though from Federer.
Il est premier service.
Well, he telegraphed the drop shot and Federer was on his way.
Well, it was a tough shot to drop shot because it's up high. And he could only float it at best. Didn't have any pace to work with on the ball. Only 6 points the difference between these two players at this stage, although Nadal a world ahead with a 2-1 lead. Well, that was a little training drill there. Federer was getting an absolute workout. Just kept the ball alive. And there it is again, the little slice, the low slice. Nadal doesn't like the ball below his knees.
Break point now for Federer.
Merci.
rally there from both men. Nadal, a lot of courage to go down the line. And Roger Federer, can you believe it? 1 from 17 on break points.
My favourite stat, that service percentages, anything else can go out the window. If you don't break serve when you get the opportunities, you can't win. 1 for 17. That's he will think a lot about that when he finds that stat. Brilliant, that one. He stepped up, right over the top of this backhand, just drilled it. Both players again have picked up the pace somewhat.
Avantage Nadal. Nadal.
Early stages of the fourth, it's 1-all.
The thing for Federer is the lefty, he's facing a lefty, so when he gets break point, more often than not, Nadal's serving to his favoured side, but there's been plenty of times when Federer's had the 15-40, the love 40. He's had strings of break points. Most unusual that he's had such a low conversion rate.
.015.
Not something you see too often on the Nadal forehand, just catching the net. Normally he hits with such margin, the net's never a problem.
Quinze, 30.
Well, his straight line speed is phenomenal. We kept asking in that first set, where was the drop shot? Well, there's the perfect drop shot. Could not have hit it any better.
40.
And Nadal is there with time to spare after 2 hours and 42 minutes.
And he's got 2 break points rewarded for such a great effort. That's the effort there from Federer. He knew he had to go for it. Nadal on the run. He'd be disappointed in that. He still has 1 left though. close the door in set number 4 for the defending champion Rafael Nadal. He leads 2 sets to 1 and 2 games to 1. Well, there's not a person here who's gone home. They're all waiting in anticipation. A lot of them would like to see a 5th and final set here to wrap off the 2007 French Open. In order to do that, the #1 player in the world has to fight back from a breakdown and 2 sets to 1 down.
It's hard though now, Fred, isn't it? In the first set we were talking about being aggressive, chip charging, all the different things that Federer could do, but when your legs are a bit weary, it's a hard thing to do, to play an aggressive game on clay. The dynamic movement that's required to come forward, prop, accelerate, lunge to volleys. It's not easy.
And again, Nadal, once he gets in front, is a good front runner. And as they flattened that forehand out, picked up the pace a little. 30 love.
Nadal.
Maybe Federer is doubting the fact that he can win this now. Unforced errors in that game, uncharacteristic of what has been happening, but that was an easy game for Nadal, just what he needed to go to 3 games to 1 here in the 4th set. Crowd trying to cheer their man on, Roger Federer. They know how much this means to him in his quest. He missed it. It was long.
So important on clay that you split your step, get nicely balanced for the volley.
I don't think he gets behind the flight of the ball. I think the racket starts up too high, and then when he comes down, he's got to get it and try and flatten it out.
Well, he has to be tough here, Federer. That will certainly help the cause. He can break Nadal back. He can get back into this match. It's only down 1 break, but if Nadal gets that double advantage, 2 breaks, I can't see him faltering. Federer has to be desperate to hang on here.
Quarante-quinze.
40-15. Federer comes up with another ace. The service percentages have let him down throughout the championships, but that ace helps. It's now 3-2, still down a break in the fourth. Roger Federer comes back on court. He's still down a break. 2-1 down. Last match of our coverage here on Super Signal, courtesy of the French Tennis Federation. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage over the 2 weeks as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Started off with some testy weather for the players and the officials, but it's finished up on a very fine day in a super match.
He's got the big Western grip here. He did not want to play this shot, but it's all about the effort that he makes to get his head and the head of the racket close together. You can see there, didn't reach for the ball, he got right behind it. Every ounce of care taken. Oh, did you see that 5 or 6 little steps before he made contact with the slow ball? He's just completely zoned in now, as Fred said, desperate to hang on to each service game now. It's amazing how that scoreboard can give you a physical lift when you're ahead in the count.
Nadal, balle ramasseur, s'il vous plaît.
Nadal does his job on that service game, holds comfortably, goes to a 4-2 lead. Pressure goes back now on Federer. Uncle Tony, his coach for many years in Mallorca, is pretty happy with his performance so far today. And Miroslav Vavranek is Roger Federer's partner. We've talked about her on numerous occasions. I don't think I've seen her as animated throughout the championship. She's into it today. She knows how much this means to her man in his quest to win a Grand Slam. He's won many titles, but if he can put this one away, then he has an opportunity at Wimbledon and the US Open.
Whoa!
You just wonder though, Fred, don't you, when you watch this and you see the match unfold, maybe the only way to beat Nadal is to turn yourself into a bull, at least on the clay. Maybe it's more about your off-court training than your on-court tennis. He just keeps coming physically, Nadal.
Got to give him a little bit of credit there on a clay court. He can do more things on a clay court than anybody else, the same as Federer can do more things on a grass court or on a faster court than pretty much anybody else. Not over yet though.
Just tough to come in against anybody, let alone the Nadal forehand when they're not forced to move. When players are balanced these days, passing shots, you can see a couple of steps, plants that left leg. It's so accurate.
4. Quarante, 30.
40-30 as we close this fourth set out. Irrespective of who wins it, the pressure builds. Oh, that was brilliant footwork. Brave enough to go for it, finds the angle. Incredible backhand. So he holds serve. Still down the service break though when we come back. Quite an incredible atmosphere here, folks, and what a thrill for these two players on court to have this. Christian Beam there, the president, going to be proud of his efforts here for the championships here. As I mentioned, they started with some wet weather. Tough for the folks making the draw, but this crowd have got what they wanted today. This match was talked about since the Australian Open. Confrontation again between Federer and Nadal, and it's been a beauty. Nadal must hold serve 2 more times to claim the title.
What a great point, Fred. Just a little bit of everything there.
Well, you got to take your hat off. Everything was thrown at. Federer played that perfectly. He got a net cord. Nadal played a little slice, and then he had another shot at a volley. And then Nadal had to make the volley to finish it off. 30-love. Wally mentioned a few games ago, this man doesn't get tight very often. We may see it here because of the occasion. Such a huge occasion for him to go through and win 3 years in a row from a very young age. He only turned 21 on the 21st of the month when the tournament started. Birthday wrong there, Nadal. He turned 21 when the tournament started. It was on the 3rd of June, his birthday. And if you were with us, they celebrated that with a birthday cake in the players' room. But right now, he's not worried about how old he is. He just wants to win this 3 years in a row. (40-15). determination.
Just have a look here. Federer, he's just caught by the spin. Tries to play a lunge volley there. The ball drops almost as he's about to make contact. The ball dips. There's just so much spin on the ball. Tremendous forehands there from Nadal to close out that game.
Nadal now 5 games to 3, 2 sets to 1.
S'il vous plaît.
Once again, it's stating the obvious, but Federer, whatever it takes to win this game, he's got to make Nadal serve it out and just see if there is a hint of nerves.
It was wide.
Gee, not a bad effort from where he was in the court. Nadal, amazing.
He was there again, Nadal. And it just takes that little bit of extra energy out of him to push forward, get the drop shot. Federer must hold serve here.
See the clock in the background there. The match is 3 hours, 4 minutes old. Where he just looks a little fatigued. That one big step, the lunge at the ball. Been an effective shot. He hasn't played it a lot, that short slice. It's not easy to play against the Nadal forehand. This is where you just get the feeling Nadal just sets himself. He gives himself a little goal and just refuses to miss.
Showing a bit of class here, Federer. Why he is number 1 in the world. Will not go down. Still thinks he has an opportunity. Still has it. Game point. And he does just that. Calls himself back the champion he is. But it is Nadal, the defending champion, who leads 5 games to 4, 4th set.
Crowd are doing their very best here at Change of Ends to give Federer a lift, chanting his name. They would love to see more tennis. We mentioned at the start of this match, it seemed a pro-Federer crowd here on Philippe Chatrier.
Well, are we in the final minutes of this 2007 final when Nadal is trying to make history, or can Roger Federer find a way out of this and break serve?
Merci. Merci.
And you talk about nerves, just no hesitation there. Not an easy shot to play. Always nice to get that opening point serving for a match.
Premier service. Merci.
Tremendous game Nadal has played here. He hasn't faltered. He's gone for his shots. He now holds 3 match points, championship points, Coupe de Musketeer points. Rafael Nadal has created history, folks. He's become the first man since the great Bjorn Borg in 1980 to collect 3 successive Roland-Garros titles, and just the second man for 93 years to do so. And he's done it in fine style. Undoubtedly, you must say now, well, that Rafael Nadal is the best player in the world on a clay court.
Oh, look, no question, Fred. And doesn't this centre court suit him down to the ground? We've talked about the high bounce. He gets so much value from that forehand, the heavy topspin. He loves this 5-set format. He's a wonderful athlete, obviously, but he's got a warrior's mentality. And you'd have to think Federer is an artist. I mean, he's close to genius sometimes, particularly on the faster courts. But I think until Federer becomes a bit more of a warrior, I don't think he can beat this man on clay over 5 sets.
A little bit of a lull in the match when we thought that Federer was, Nadal was getting tired, followed by Federer, but in that 4th set, there was no indication of that from Nadal as he goes up to meet his entourage. Got a bit of time. It'll take them a fair while to get things organised. Well, he doesn't fall over. Get organised to get the presentation underway. Your thoughts on that, Bash? You must be with Uncle Tony there. Must be pretty thrilled with everything.
Amazing showing. He's a fearless competitor, Rafael Nadal. I don't think he was at his best at large parts of the match here, but just found a way to get past Federer. And he's the ultimate competitor on clay, prepared to tough it out, prepared to do whatever's required to win on his favourite surface. The man they love here on the red clay Guga with Christian Beams, president of the French Tennis Federation. Roger Federer presented with a plate. Consecutive finals for him. 3 times he's been beaten by Rafael Nadal at the French Open the last 3 years. He's getting closer. The gap's being bridged on the slower surface. 12th Grand Slam final. He's won 10. And this is the only place he's been beaten.
Vainqueur de ces International France 2007, il remportera son 3e tournoi en 3 participations, Rafael Nadal.
The warrior from the island of Mallorca continues his winning run here. Presented with a 3rd trophy from Gustavo Kuerten. Super Brazilian on these courts over the years, but Rafael Nadal has taken his modern-day mantle and raises the Coupe de Musketeers in proud fashion. What's the feeling like, Fred, to do this?
Well, when I won it way back when, we got our presentation made at the umpire's chairs. They didn't have anything like this in those days, so this is a great thrill, and it's also one of the toughest tournaments to win.
The Spanish national anthem.